Hi, welcome to the second video on Python programming. In the first video, we have seen how to install Python in our system and how to make it working, and we have seen certain alternatives for Python programming environments. In this video, we will write our first program using Python, and we will see how we can make it run. I'll be using Python 3 and Python idle for writing all the programs in this video and in all the coming videos. My operating system is Ubuntu. I'm using Ubuntu and Python 3 with the Python integrated development environment for programming. So let us see how we can start by writing the first program in our Python idle. So this is the Python idle shell. This is where we can see our output once we run the program. But where to write the code? Either you can write the code here itself in the shell and we can try to execute. For example, I will just write a print function. Print, I'll start braces. Within double quotes, I will write, "Hi, I am support." After that, I will just press enter and it displays the output, "Hi, I am support." But we cannot write all the programs directly in the shell like this. Many cases, we have to write a program in a separate file and we have to save that file for future use. In such cases, we need the Python editor window where we can write the programs. And whenever we run a program written in the Python editor window, we can see the output in the Python shell. So I will show you how to open the Python editor window and how to write a simple program using the Python editor window. In the Python shell, go to the File menu, and there you can see the first option, the New File. Click on the New File. When you click on the new file, a blank page will appear, and this is the Python editor window. This is where you should write your program, and this program you can save for later use. As I told you, we are going to write a very basic program using Python. A basic program can be written in Python using the print function. The print function is used to display something on the output terminal. In order to use a print function, you have to write the keyword print followed by braces, and within the braces, within double quotes, you have to write whatever thing you are going to display. Here I will display like, "Hi, my name is Subho." Our first program is over. But we have to save this program before we try to run the program. And for that, you can go to the File menu, you can click on Save. As you can see here, for any option in the menu, there are certain shortcuts. For a new file, you can click on Ctrl plus N. For opening a file, Ctrl plus O, and so on. For saving a file, you have to click Ctrl plus S. So Ctrl S, it will ask you where do we want to save our file. So I will save the file on the desktop of my system. So I will see where the desktop is. Here the desktop is, and I should give a name for the file. So I will write like my underscore first underscore program. My first program. It is better to give a continuous name for the file. Don't give any space in between the words that you use for the file name. If you need to specify any space between the words, you can use underscores or a hyphen or anything. In certain cases, we have to explicitly specify the extension of the file that you have created. Here, this is a Python file, so we have to give a .py as extension of the file name. In many cases, we have to do so. But in my case, there is no need to specify explicitly what is the file name because the system itself knows that we are going to create a Python file. So we just need to give the Python file name, and the file type is automatically identified by the system as .py or .pyw, that is a Python file system. So I will save it, and now I am ready to go for a run of the program. So I will go to the option run in the menu, and there is a run module option, that is F5. We can use F5 as a shortcut key for running the module. I'll click on F5 and it takes us to the Python shell where the result is printed, "Hi, my name is support." So this is how we can write a very simple program using print function in Python. The print function might look like a very simple function. Yes, it is a simple function, but it has got very good useful occasions, so you can use this print function. For example, when you write a very big program and you encounter certain errors in your program and you are unable to find what is the error, where is the error, those kind of things. In such situations, it is always advisable to use a print function. Print function help you to debug the program. Not all the cases, but in certain cases. In that case also, you should know how to use a print function to debug your program. So even though it looks like a very basic, simple function, it has got very good advantages. Okay, so this is how we write a basic program using Python print function. Along with that, I would like to tell you that when you write a program, don't just write the program. Along with the program, you give an explanation on what this particular line is going to do. Because when you write a very big program and after a few days, some other person is going to look at this particular program, they will not have any idea like what you have written and what each line of your code tells. So it is better always to give an explanation for each line of code that you write. So how to give a comment for a particular code of line? And for that, you can use the character hash. Whatever comes after the hash is automatically terminated, and the Python interpreter do not consider those codes of lines that follows the hash character. In Python, there is no concept of multiple line commenting. You have to comment each line individually. When I say this, don't think like there is no option at all for commenting multiple lines in Python. There are options using which you can comment multiple lines in Python, but there is no actual way of doing it because certain tricks you can do that, but in some cases those tricks will lead to certain errors, unexpected errors in your system. So it is always advised to use single line comments itself. So following the hash, you should write what this particular code of line is going to do. So in this case, it is going to print something. So I will write like printing the result. This is what this particular code of line is going to do. I will run the program once and you can see it prints whatever comes inside the print function and it completely ignores the comment. And also whenever you write a program, you should give an explanation on what program you have written so that a third party or a second person can look at this particular program and understand like, oh yes, this particular guy have written a particular program for this particular thing. I will write a simple Python program. Again, you run the program, it just displays a string that is entered within the print function and it ignores anything that is written after the character hash. So in this way, you can write a simple program in Python. One more thing, when I told you about the print function, I told you like after the print function, open the braces and within the braces you have to put double quotes and write whatever you have to print. That is not the case. You can even use single quotes for the same. For example, in this case, I will write one more print function. Open the braces, in single quotes, I will write like, hello, I am here. Run it. See, that also prints the result. Then, what is the difference between using a single quote and a double quote inside a print function? We will see that later when we discuss about strings in Python program. And along with that, I would like to add some more thing. See, when we started the idle, opened the idle, it is a Python shell that popped up, not the editor window. It can be the either way around. How can we do that? You go to the options, configure the idle. You can do whatever configurations you like. You can change the font size, you can increase the indentation width, you can select the font face, you can select how the things are going to be highlighted when you click on something. You can see here, you can see when the code, what is the code context section, how does it look like, how a particular color can be chosen for foreground, background, for variables, for strings, for breakpoints, for errors and those kind of things. And you can also give things like general setup like open the edit window upon startup or open the shell window upon startup, the width and height of your screen, so on and so forth. So this particular option is also there. And if you want to go to the latest restart, you can go over here in the edit. There are so many options over here. In the shell, you want to view the last restart, you can click on view last restart. Suppose you have entered so many outputs, you have encountered so many outputs, but you want to go to the just previous restart, you can use that option. There's so many options are available over here, and these options I suggest you to learn all these options on the go. That will be very useful for you. And one more thing, Python idle is not the only integrated development environment available for writing Python programs, as we discussed in the previous video. One interesting software that you can download is a PyCharm. PyCharm is a Python integrated development environment for professional developers, as the website of PyCharm tells. Not only for the professionals, for users like us also PyCharm is very useful. PyCharm actually very useful in the sense like it serves all the functionalities of an integrated development environment, and along with that it gives us suggestions, or it gives us what is going to be next. Whenever you start coding, they start giving us suggestions like, okay, are you looking for this particular thing, or are you looking for that particular thing? Those kind of suggestions they give us. You just scroll down and you can see that you get a smart assistant with PyCharm. So it knows everything about your code. So it relies on intelligent code completion, on the fly error checking, quick fixes, easy project navigation, and much more, as the website says. What is the use of this particular PyCharm compared to our Python idle? It is very productive. It helps to speed up your coding so that you can complete a code within maybe 40% lesser time. So that is the advantage of using for such assistive integrated development environments. So to those who are interested, you can go to the website jetbrains.com. JetBrains is a company which have developed this particular software. Go there, click on the download link, and you can find PyCharm. Install it and you can use it. And as I told you, there is a professional edition as well as a community edition. Community edition will suffice us. So go download a community edition of PyCharm and start programming using PyCharm if you are not satisfied with Python idle, because Python idle do not give such fascinating facilities as PyCharm. Okay, so this is about today's video. We will see in the next video. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next video.